Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be going over how to create this awesome caustic effect in Blender. It's really simple. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. We are in our new Blender file here. Let's go ahead and delete our cube and our light. And let's go ahead and add mesh, add monkey. Okay, let's just go ahead and zoom in our monkey here. And we're going to add a subdivision surface modifier with the 3 levels for the viewport and render. Right click, shade, auto smooth. Go ahead and add in a mesh plane, scale that up 20, and bring it under our object here. I'm also going to go to my side view, and I'm going to rotate my object in a way that makes sense for our scene. I'm going to highlight our plane, which is somewhere down here, and bring it up under our object, just like that. Rotate our object a little bit more so it's sort of sitting on this floor. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll go with something like this. I'm also going to be adding some lights in here. So let's go ahead and add in a light point light. Let's go ahead and bring that up here. And then we're going to make this a custom setting that's going to work perfectly for our caustics. So the power, we're going to make that 500. And then for our radius, we're going to make that 0.01. And that should be good for that. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to duplicate this 5 times. So I'm going to go to my top-down view, really zoom in here. I'm going to duplicate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have to be perfectly aligned. Don't worry about that. If you guys want to line them up perfectly, that's fine. Go ahead and add an empty cube. Go ahead and scale that way down. Bring it up near our lights. And we're going to use this to actually parent all the lights to this empty so that we can easily drag them around. So we're going to go ahead and select all the lights. And then we're going to parent them to the cube. So first, select all your lights, shift click our little parent, our cube, parent that, and then we're good to go. So Control P is the shortcut for that. And now as you can see, we can scale these lights up, we can scale them down, we can rotate them, we can pretty much do whatever we want with our light sources. Another thing you're going to want to do is actually click on your light, and you're going to want to enable caustics. One thing I forgot to mention is we actually want to delete all those other lights. Click on this light, switch over to Cycles, GPU, and now in our light settings, you'll see this little setting called Shadow Caustics. You want to check that, and then you want to just scroll out, and every time you duplicate, this will still be under our parented object. So you just want to duplicate this a few more times, just like that, and then you can spread these out however you like. That looks perfect. Again, everything is still parented to our empty, so we're good to go. Now that we have our Shadow Caustics enabled on our lights, we're going to go ahead and click on our floor plane. Go over to our object properties, pop open the shading tab, and click on receive shadow caustics. Now there's really only one step left, and that is to click on our shape right here, make a new material. We're going to make that a glass BSDF, 0 roughness, 1.1 IOR, and then under our object properties, we're going to click on cast shadow caustics. We're pretty much set up and good to go. There's just a few more things. We want to go over to our world settings, make our color very dark, almost black, and then click on our floor plane, and we'll also make that a darker color as well. I'm just going to assign a new material and make it dark. The next step is we're going to go ahead and set up some render settings. For our max samples, I'm going to set that to 1000. Our denoise, I'm going to choose optics. I'm also going to collapse everything here and then open up our light paths. Now for all of these, I'm going to choose 10. The reason I'm doing this, and you don't have to really do this for volume, is because I just want to get the maximum quality render possible. Make that total 50 up there. Filter glossy, set that to 0. Make sure reflective and refractive caustics are enabled. And we should be set up and good to go. If we go into our rendered view, we should see some incredible caustics. I know this is the moment you've all been waiting for, and this is it. So as you guys can see, we have these separate lines here. And the reason we have these separate lines is because of the way we set up our light sources. I'm going to go to my top view here. Oops, top view, there we go. And I'm going to show you guys what happens if you guys actually change the way these light sources are. So if you just click on that empty and you scale it up, look at how our caustics change. Do you guys notice that as these lights spread apart, it actually changes the way that everything looks? I'm going to go ahead and rotate it and show you guys what happens if you move everything over here. Now obviously you're still getting these incredible caustic results depending on how you actually set everything up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my solid view. I'm going to click on my camera. I'm going to go to my top-down view. I'm going to snap to my camera. I'm going to go to our rotation, set that to 0, move myself up on the Z-axis and position myself above the monkey. I'm going to also set my Z rotation to 0. Actually, I'm going to set it to 90. Move over here. I'm going to select my empty, move it like right behind our object right here. I'm going to give Suzanne a little bit of rotation, and then I'm going to actually move my camera the other way, negative 90 degrees. Now I'm just kind of setting up a shot for the thumbnail here, but what I want to show you guys is how cool this is going to look from a top-down view. This just looks incredible. I'm very happy with this result. Now another thing you can do is you guys can actually make your glass have a color. So I'm just going to give it a slight blue hint. That looks really good. And then again, guys, at this point you have your caustics properly set up, as long as you followed all of the previous steps. Remember, if you take this empty and you scale it up, look how much different the caustics are going to look. They look incredible. But again, this is kind of something you're going to have to experiment with. I think this looks really cool. I'd be ready to render this. Let's go ahead and actually render this image right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my solid view, double check on all my settings. My light bounces are set up correctly. My sampling should be good. We're at about 1,000 samples, denoising. Let's go ahead and render this and just see how long it takes. F12 is our shortcut to render. And let's go ahead and see what our estimated time is, and then we'll come back when it's done. Looks like it's going to take about 12 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay guys, so I actually re-rendered this at 150 samples, and it still looks really good. You guys are going to want to use like 1,000 samples or maybe even more, because if you guys do zoom in here, you're going to notice some white dots and things. Now these are actually the point lights, but again, you guys can mess with the materials to get this correct. Now it does look really good. This is 1920 by 1080, so you guys can bump this quality up to whatever resolution you like. I think that looks beautiful. The effect is incredible, and imagine what you could do with your own custom glass shader. This is really, really cool, guys. This is pretty much your completed final result. So you guys hopefully learned something. You can obviously stop watching the video now if you want, but I just want to show you that this works with other objects as well. So let me go ahead and X out of that. And let's go ahead and add in a, how about we add in a cylinder? And I'm just going to scale it down a little bit, move it up. I'm going to rotate it on our y-axis. I'm also going to make it the same material as our monkey. I'm going to hide our monkey here, click on our cylinder, add a bevel, add in an edge split and a subdivision surface modifier, and I'm just going to shade that auto smooth. And then again, as usual, we need to click on Cast Shadow Caustics. We should be set up and good to go. Let me just make sure this is not coming through the floor here. We're good to go. We should be having caustics on this. Now again, guys, this works with any object, like I said, and here is your proof right here. And then you can obviously rotate this. You can pretty much do whatever you want. And then here's our top-down view, our camera view here. You guys, this is how you create really cool caustic effects without having to go into any nodes or anything complex like that. All it really is, at the end of the day, is just multiple light sources with your object and caustics enabled on all of the correct things. You need caustics on your light, you need caustics on your object, and you need caustics on the thing that is going to be showing the caustics, which is going to be that floor plane underneath of your object. Make sure you have all of these settings correct or you will not get this result. And remember, you need to use the settings that I put on these point lights or you're not going to get this result. For example, if you took this point light and you bumped up the radius to 1, you will not get this result. Also, the IOR of the glass greatly influences the result. I'm going to bump this up to the IOR of water. As you can see, it still looks cool, but you're not getting that same result. So you're going to want to stick with something like 1.1 or 1.15. You guys get the idea. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yes, as you guys probably were guessing, you can duplicate the objects, scale them down, and you guys can pretty much play around with this however you want. My computer is very fast. This will probably freeze your computer if you guys try to do this in real time. So I highly suggest you guys set up the scene before you go into rendered view. But again, I am recording on OBS as well, so it is significantly slowing down my computer. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. I cannot wait to see what you come up with these incredible caustics skill sets that I've taught you guys. Again, if you guys want just a simple caustics tutorial, I have one on my YouTube channel. You just have to go back and take a look at that as well. I just thought this effect was so cool. I couldn't help but share it with you guys. The source file will be available through my Patreon. If you guys support me on that second tier or the third tier, both will give you access to all of my tutorial files. I believe it's 25 bucks a month. I haven't changed it, and that is an incredible deal. Again, this is like almost 100 plus tutorial files at this point. We have a lot in there for you guys to have access to. So hopefully you'll support me on there. Definitely check out the Discord. Check me out on Instagram. All the links will be included in the description below, and I hope you guys have a great day.